Why? Good morning. It's me, Jeff Africa at J Africa's Last Dance, the channel where we're making it from the head to the heart and living a whole new life through this open heart chakra. Okay? That's what we're doing here. I had a very, very, very tough life. And I got to the point where I said, do I really want this anymore? Because I've had enough, and if it's life, this is what life is. I don't want it anymore. Okay, so I figured that I have to change my consciousness if I was either going to die or change my consciousness. Because the status quo was unacceptable and intolerable. That's my consciousness state. Was unacceptable and intolerable. It was worse than yours, though. Some of you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you had some version of it, but not as bad as my version of it. And I feel as though, on some level, all of us feel as though that this consciousness state is unacceptable, intolerable. Now, when I speak about non-resistance, how important non-resistance is. Now, isn't that statement sort of resistant? This consciousness state is unacceptable and intolerable. Okay, now isn't that kind of a resistant statement to make? And yeah, I think probably so. So I may have to take a look at that. But, we accept things, including a horrible consciousness state. We accept them, allow them to move past them. But I'm sticking with it because that's what it was. My consciousness state was unacceptable and intolerable. And I've decided to remedy that. And I'm going to remedy it by falling from the head to the heart, opening up that heart chakra. I experienced this before. That's how come I know it's there. It was with the help of psychedelics. But I know it's there. And it's my new path, my new road to living a more fulfilled life is getting to the genuineness and the authenticity of the heart, opening that heart chakra, falling into that heart resonance, and beginning to relate to the world through that open heart and heart resonance, allowing the universe itself to shine through me, through my open heart, through the flame of my open heart, into the world, and everybody that I contact and deal with, including Mother Earth, are just a little bit better for me being around. We should all adopt that attitude as we move forward, that we want to be a type of person that people feel a little bit better for having been in contact with and have been around, okay? Okay, I have to move on this. I'm trying to keep these short. And I don't have a lot of time for explanations, but you got to do this because you guys don't know what I've said 20 videos ago, So you got to keep bringing up things and explaining, exactly where we're coming from here, exactly what we're doing here, exactly why we're doing it, okay? We're shifting our consciousness in the most dramatic way. This is what the world needs, okay? And what the world needs now, as much as anything, is we're discussing today humility. Okay, we're going to discuss what the benefits of humility was. When I had that experience of falling from the head and beginning to relate to those around me from that heart chakra, open heart chakra, and that heart resonance, humility was one of the mainstays of that experience, okay? A sense of personal humility, and it allowed me to feel extremely authentic and safe and secure for one of the first times in my life, where I wasn't jumping around the mind and all the anxieties therein, okay? One of the first times of my life that I felt safe and secure, and kind of where I sort of always wished I was and felt as though I deserved. Okay? And humility was a big part of that. I'm going to tell you the benefits right now. I'm going to tell you the benefits, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm going to tell you the benefits of humility. The state, this is not talking humility. This is the falling into that heart energy and into the state of humility and the energy of humility, okay, which is very rare here on earth. very real. Indians have a sense of humility, a lot of them. American Indians, they have a natural humility to them. Yogis have a natural humility to them. There are those who do express and seem to come in. We've seen them from a humble state, and we don't value it the way I haven't valued it the way I should have. It's just quite an illumined place to be. Let's discuss for a moment then the benefits of humility. Number one, humility acts as an agent and a salve to promote inner unity. When you enter that energy of humility, you are loving and you accept all your parts of yourself that you kind of ran from before, whether it's being insecurities or different fears, aspects of yourself that you weren't very proud of. When you are in humility, it acts as an agent and a salve to bring those aspects of yourself together. Okay, and allows you to start to incorporate them or to dissolve them depending on what they are. You understand that? It's an extremely powerful place to be, an extremely inner rich place to be. I felt like an inner richness and a certain power, although not the power we normally think of as personal power. Personal power, that whole thing, wherever we get our examples from. But it was extremely a powerful state, but in a subtle power. It was a subtle yin sort of a power, not the yang sort of a demonstrative power we talked about, or we have seen before, or we see examples of in this society. Okay, it accepts and humility accepts and welcomes everything about oneself. Okay, that's what I've just said. Okay, the richness of humility is an outer healing gesture promoting harmony and friends and fends off striking back. Okay, the richness of humility is an outer healing gesture. When you approach others in a humble state, it's a healing type of a place to be. It's of and by itself, it's a gesture to others that promotes harmony and fends off the striking back idea of if you are wronged or someone treats you rudely or yells or something like that. You have, when you're in humility, you don't strike back right away. You observe. It creates this sort of spaciousness around you, inner spaciousness, and you observe and you decide how you're going to handle that situation when you're in a humble state. All sense of personal falseness. We all suffer from a certain false quality that we find ourselves to be. I have felt that. I think we all do. As we move throughout the day in this ego-driven mind state, separated self-consciousness. You know how shifty ego is. It kind of makes you feel like a little false. We all have that inauthentic falseness about us that we think is just part of life, but it isn't. It's something that we've come to, but we're going to grow beyond it now. So the sense of falseness, when you're in a deep, rich humility, then you're expressing that humility, all sense of falseness falls away. You got that? Humility is psychologically grounded and secure. Like I was saying before, it's an extremely grounded place to be. You're not flying all over the place. People gravitate to you naturally because they sense your groundedness and they sense your security. If you're looking for a woman, oddly enough, humility gives her a certain assurance of that grounded quality that you have in this humble way of yours, and the security that you have, the inner security. That's a magnet too for everybody, including women. Women like to meet a guy that seems inner secure, and doesn't be flying off all over the place all the time, trying to prove himself or whatever it may be. It yields a greater in the moment quality. Okay, when you're in humility, the time factor is slower. And you apprehend the moment, the eternal now moment. You're in a better place to apprehend the eternal now moment. Okay? It's quite nice. It helps see love in self and helps see love in others. You're able to pick up the love in yourself easier, and therefore be able to pick up the love in others easier too. Your alchemy, how I speak of alchemizing love. As the way forward, find love where we never knew it existed, because love is all around, and we feel as though we live in a loveless world, really. But love is everywhere. It's the most common thing in the universe. We are literally made out of light and love, but yet we all lack. We need love. We don't, all that stuff. It helps you see that love. It helps you alchemize that love, that sense of deep personal humility. Okay, that's so extremely valuable. Alchemizing love, finding love is life. Okay, in my previous state, there was no love in my life, and there was no life in my life. I was leading one dead moment after the other, just a series of zombie-like dead moments that had no life and no love. Okay, no humility either, for that matter. No more personas, game playing, or needing to prove oneself. All we've discussed are personas, developing, creating, crafting personas as a mask to interact with the world. Okay, because we don't feel in our raw state is enough, so we develop this persona. We become a doctor. We become a lawyer. We just don't do the job and we maintain ourselves as spiritual human beings. We become these personas, and in deep personal humility as an expression of yourself, there is no more game playing, there is no more personas, and there's no more needing to prove yourself with these personas. You're one way or the other, you're trying to prove yourself with these developed personas. There is no more of any of that stuff. Okay, game playing. I never really game played a lot. I don't game. I don't play too many games. I don't gossip or have that sort of quality about me either. Never really did. I like it straight. I like it straightforward. People that play games, I have I don't have a lot of patience for it. If I have a girl that I kind of, and I find or see that she plays these little games or stuff like that, I kind of yell, the door. True humility puts you closer to God. It's a natural agent for God realization. God loves humility. He loves when his children are humble and with this rich, powerful humility. And he's closer to you when you're humble, and you're closer to him when you're in this humility. Okay, it's a natural divine agent. We could say that inner agent, inner self, outer in the world agent, self, and a divine agent in self. See how incredible it is? Promotes authenticity and personal legitimacy. Once again, that sense of falseness, another way of saying it. It promotes this really great sense of authenticity and personal legitimacy. You feel more legitimate when you're in this throes of this deep personal humility. Okay, you know how we feel illegitimate in a way. I always have. I've always felt. Matter of fact, illegitimacy has been a huge aspect of my life. And that takes care of that sense of illegitimacy. It really does. Inner spaciousness, like I was saying, it provides this bubble of inner spaciousness that has you outside the reactive mind and the ego and how it likes to strike back if it feels that it's been wrong or called a name or treated rudely or people yelling at you. It allows for this inner space that inhibits striking back. Okay, you not in that strike back mode anymore. Yogananda went to ask a local merchant for some money for a project that he was heading. And he walked in and he gave his thing, and the guy started yelling at him. He said, "I am sick and tired of you. You guys are all half phony anyway." This and that. Called all his name and called names, I think even, and was deriding him, and just being a really mean guy. And Yogananda just sat there and calmly listened to him. Speak in this way, in this rude manner, because he had enough, I guess, of the so-called religious people that weren't all that religious. And Yogananda just sat there and listened to him. And when he was done, Yogananda just quietly got up and said, "Well, I hope you change your mind." You know, I can hope you can find it in your heart to change your mind, because this is, you know, what we would like to do. And he stayed friendly in a way. And that guy was so impressed after Yogananda left. That guy was so impressed that he came back to Yogananda, and he was in a room. I think there were people around. And he began to say, "This guy is really fantastic. The way he comported himself," and he gave him the what he was asking for. But that's how powerful humility is. It draws people in. It draws people to you, because you don't do what normal people would have done. And in that moment, Yogananda displayed the power of his spirituality, the power of his divine nature, in being able to withstand that onslaught that he had to withstand, and to stay calm and centered, and not chastising him, not saying, "Why you know," not thinking any less of him for the beratement that he had to endure. And it was a very impressive thing this guy had witnessed, and he was you know, he gave him what he wanted, because he was extremely impressed with that, what Yogananda did at that point. It makes you more sensitive to the preciousness of others, the preciousness of animals, the preciousness of all living things, but especially other people. Okay, we don't really think of preciousness and sensitive to the preciousness of other human beings, generally speaking, as we race throughout this modern world in this 3D life. We don't. But when you drop into that humility, you begin to see the preciousness of those around you, and you respond to it, and they respond to you. Okay, truly, people are precious, and to be able to plug into that humility and to radiate that humility, you begin to see the preciousness that others are, and you have a whole different attitude toward them. You have a whole different attitude toward life when you begin to apprehend and sense the preciousness of those around you, the animals, even the bug, whatever it is. Life is extremely precious, but we don't really plug into it, because we're so much racing in our heads and in this offset consciousness that we're cursed with, really seriously. It dissolves buttons. You know, we have these buttons. You press your button, and you fly off the handle. Once again, it dissolves. True humility dissolves buttons. There are no more. You have no more buttons. People can say, you know, you just have no more buttons to press. You're buttonless. Okay, you know, which is great. You know what I mean? I miss being in kitchens, because that's ground zero for me. If I could handle in a pressure packed kitchen situation, staying here, what I'm describing to you all the way, I know I'm doing pretty good, but I'm not in kitchens anymore, so it's hard to know that. But that was ground zero for me in all the spiritual development things I wanted to accomplish. When I was in a kitchen, did they hold up? Were you able to stay on course spiritually in the pressure-packed kitchen when someone comes up to you and says something that they shouldn't say, or someone does something really stupid and screws up a whole, you know, whatever it is. You know, it was really a test, being in a kitchen for spiritual development. Okay, and when I would blow it, when I would strike back, I would come home and it would burn. God, it would burn the mistake I made when I was lured into this drama and striking back and in fury, you know what I mean? And man, it hurt when I got home. That was the cure of it right there, you know what I mean? I don't want to feel, you know, if you don't have the positive to motivate you, the negative aspect of things, which is this burning quality when I got home, are going to teach you the lesson you need to learn. Trust me about that. Promotes gentleness and respect towards others. Okay, the one we want to approach others with gentleness and respect and tenderness, and love and empathy and compassion. You naturally become gentle and respectful to those around you, because if you see their preciousness and you see that in that rich humility state, you see how grand gentleness and tenderness and respect for others truly is. Okay, and how positive and productive and constructive it truly is. Got it? You don't deal ideologically anymore with others. You don't separate due to ideological lines. You don't really discuss, political philosophies or politics or this very much, somewhat, but it's all contained in a unity sort of a thing. But you're less ideological. You know how, especially today, Jesus, on the right or the left, and how they constantly, like robots, argue with one another and fight, ideologically separate themselves. People don't go to their Christmases because we can't even get it together for a Christmas, for a beautiful day celebrating Jesus' life and celebrating divine energy and love and all the things we aspire to. Most of us, a lot of us, can't even do that without getting arguing about politics. Okay, that's a sad sign. People are with this Trump thing and all that. People not going to their because you dare to vote for shit like that. I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's lower vibrational, and it's full of ego, and it's full of haughtiness and all the thing, arrogance, and we can't even just kind of be cool for a nice dinner, celebrating love and humanity and God, without tearing each other apart, in these political stupid arguments we get into. All right. So humility is not ideological. It doesn't favor ideological arguments or politics or differences like that. It accents and lives in unity. Humility does. You understand that? Now, how do we get to the state of humility? How do we get there? I'm telling you, it's one of the most prized things I've ever experienced here on earth, the living of this humility. Now, how do we get there? How does that get done? You know what I mean? How do we make this happen? Okay, and that's going to be a discussion for the next video. Okay, I'll do a dual video next one, but I want to cut this off now, and I want to come up with a set of things you can do daily that are going to promote you getting to this beautiful state of humility and expressing this humble humility to those around you. Or one of the main things that's wrong with this world right now is nobody's humble. Nobody has humility. The professors in universities, the political pundits, the people on TV, very few people have humility. It's one of the major things moving forward to create the society we're going to want to create is humility. Okay, the fact that you think in humility terms and you treat others with respect and gentleness, no matter what they say or what they do around you, and that's going to promote the direction we all want to go as a unified whole, unified body. Moving forward into the fifth dimension and love-based unity consciousness. So we'll discuss next video, won't be too long. We'll discuss how we can promote ourselves moving into the humble mind state. Jeff Africa, citizen of Earth, loyal patriot of the United States of America, I stand unafraid. And these four, Mother Earth, Divine Mother, Paramahansa Yogananda, and Jeshua Ben Joseph, Jesus, Jeshua, I have on my shoulders, helping guide me, getting me to where I want me to go. Okay? Hearts falling from the head to the heart, opening that heart chakra and living that heart-centered reality, dripping with humility. Okay? It's the most worthy thing you can do here on earth. What I'm doing and what I'm explaining. Nothing compares to it. No one knows it. They're all living in the 3D world, living their personal dramas. And when they get to the end of their life, there's not going to be much there. Okay? But this movement here is what we're after. Okay? And God bless everybody. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back sooner than later. It's been a while. I've been up and down. I've been having a hard time situating myself. I think it's the energy flowing through to us that has us a little bit off kilter. But there it is, and I'll see you soon again. Bye.